I just wanna lay in my bed. Don't feel like picking up the phone, so leave a message at the tone. Today I swear I'm not doing anything. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Feelin' Feline, a podcast where we talk about what it's like being in our 20s in the 20s. Today's episode, we're going to talk about something I've been dealing with so much, and that is just pure laziness. How do we get out of this lazy routine? How did we even get here? Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about what we can do to get out of it and how we can continuously be our better self every damn day. So yeah, let's get started. Hey guys, and since it's Thursday, April 22nd, I just wanted to say Happy Earth Day! We as humans are not very kind to our beautiful planet, but I am so grateful for everything that the earth has blessed me with, including the amazing views from everything I've seen from traveling and just going to see new places. And I really hope that I'm able to see a lot of the world before all this global warming stuff kind of calms down on us. But I hope you guys enjoyed Earth Day, and I hope that you guys did at least something, whether it's small or big, to kind of give back to our beautiful planet Earth and the amazing life, oxygen, and just beautiful views that the earth blesses us with. And I'm sure everybody has heard about it on social media, but Derek Chauvin finally was proven guilty by the court, even though it was a whole last year after this whole thing happened, and pretty much everybody knew what was going on. But it took a year, but thank goodness justice has been served, and he is going to rightfully serve for what he has done to the dear George Floyd. And I am happy to see that justice was made, and the system isn't 100% messed up, but this is just the first step, and there's so much more to do. And I don't know, I'm just feeling positive about it. I think there's a lot of changes going on, and it's not going to be right away, but I'm really excited to at least see some things getting better. And, this is just one of so many cases of Black Lives Matter and just all these protests and events that are going on around the country. So definitely always keep in the front of your head that this is still a growing problem. This is still a major issue, and let's just all continue to push forward for some positive change and hopefully a future that we can all finally just come together without having so many issues with each other in terms of race. And it's obviously not going to take 24 hours. It's not even going to take a week or months. Who knows how long it's going to take, but as long as, we continue this positive attitude and always just be mindful of the fact that this is still a major problem, we can definitely keep moving forward. So I'm just happy about the moving forward vibes that I'm getting just from this current week of just everything going on with George Floyd. And I think it's a good step in a more positive direction where we can all kind of just be more together as a country. Our country is just super divided, and I don't know, I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's again my 5 cents on that. I really like to go off on these things. I just have to learn to control myself. So that's exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, besides just political events and all the protesting, coronavirus is still alive and well, unfortunately. There's growing numbers in India, and it's kind of worrying because, India is a huge country, and, we're not that far behind in terms of the numbers of our country. So I don't know, I'm expecting it to be a little funky this summer, especially because everybody's kind of going outside. So I'm hoping that, with the vaccines rolling out, the numbers will slowly start to go down. I don't know how that's going to work. Maybe there's still going to be an increase, but I still hope that the increase isn't as extreme as it has been. I think that New York and New Jersey are still at the top states that have high rates of infection. So we'll see how that goes. I'm fully vaccinated. I'm waiting for my family members to be vaccinated. I think they're all going to be done by next week or something, except for my brother, because he's under 16, and I'm pretty sure they're developing that vaccine for 16-year-olds or people below 16, but I think he's okay for now, actually. I'm honestly surprised by how children haven't been so heavily affected compared to adults, and I still to this day don't know why. I'm really curious if anyone knows why or would like to educate me. Feel free to reach out. I'm really curious how that's been. And yes, of course, I know children have been affected by the coronavirus, but I feel like the numbers haven't been as crazy as adults. So if you guys have any insight on that or from your experience, I'd be happy to hear about it, and I'd be happy to have you guys on the episode as well. And now that we're done talking about current events, I want to talk about TV again because I'm obsessed with TV. Falcon and the Winter Soldier finale is tomorrow. I guess I can't talk much about it because obviously it's not out yet, but I think it's going to be crazy. It's going to be awesome. I really love this show, actually. I think I liked it better than The Scarlet Witch, but I think that it's going to be a good connection to Loki because Loki's coming next. And I just feel like what Marvel is doing for the next few movies, few characters, it's going to be amazing. I think the story is going to be so cool. Everything's already kind of connecting with each other. So I want to talk about it so bad, but I don't know how many of you guys haven't seen it or haven't even caught up yet. So I don't want to spoil anything, but you guys should definitely get on it because it's really freaking good. And finally, somebody, thank the Lord, reached out to me about Handmaid's Tale. Thank you, Val. I seriously don't understand how you guys haven't watched that show. It's so freaking good. It's crazy. I binged a whole season and a half this week, and it's only Thursday. It's so good, and I'm so excited for the next season because I think it's coming out in May or something. So I'm really excited, and I've been binging it just so I can catch up. And even Attack on Titan, I'm really kind of slacking on, but I'll get there, I promise. It's so good. I am just so in awe. I know this is so random and out of topic from what we're going to talk about today, but I am just so amazed and so happy to be living in a lifetime where art is just so beautifully played out in movies and shows and everything. And even though COVID sucks and everything, I just truly feel like people had the time to be creative. And, there's just a lot of stuff on Hulu, Netflix, Amazon, HBO that's coming out soon that I'm just so excited for. And it's free. It's literally free to watch these new things, and you don't have to go out, spend money, go to a restaurant, do all the work. You literally can just sit on the couch with your sweatpants and be super lazy. And look at that. I just transitioned straight into our episode. How great was that? I know you guys are so proud. So yeah, cue laziness. So being lazy. So these past 2 weeks, I have been just so freaking lazy. I cannot even explain. I went from easily getting up at 6:30 in the morning for 5 to 6 days a week, going to the gym, getting my grind on, putting my heart and soul into work, coming back, and then just being excited about everything I do. And I feel like these past 2 weeks, I don't know if it's because of the weather or just, I don't know, or allergies. People are telling me different things that, could be reasons why I'm feeling lazy, tired, groggy. I don't know, but all of a sudden I woke up and I just have not had the same motivation that I've had 3 weeks ago. And I wanted to bring it to a topic for this episode because I wanted to hear from you guys, especially people who constantly listen to all my episodes, to give me something that might help me break this crazy mindset. I just don't feel like I'm giving anything 100% these days. And I don't know if it's because I'm stressed out. I guess I'm stressed out. I don't know how I'm even feeling, to be honest. And that's one of the worst things. I've tried to have conversations with myself, sit down and just be okay, what am I feeling exactly? And honestly, I don't know. I can't even put words to how I feel. Honestly, some days I'll just be super happy. And then 5 minutes later, I'm depressed. I'm sad. I'm just sitting there feeling numb. I don't know if it's because I need a break from my routine, but I don't know. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I am going to share with you guys a few things that I feel like have been super helpful, at least in me trying to get the ball rolling again to get my motivation back. So yeah, I'm just going to talk about that, and hopefully next week you'll hear better news about just my motivation and everything. Now, if anyone listening is a lot like me, you have such a busy life. Every second, it's like you have something to do. You can barely sit down and just take a breather. But when you do, you take the best lazy day. You do absolutely nothing. And the next thing you know, you wake up the next morning and you're kind of tired. So, you want to give yourself another break. And the next thing you know, you're having more lazy days than not. And for some odd reason, you're just not passionate about anything that you do. And I'm speaking from experience because literally the past 2 weeks, I have not been feeling an ounce of motivation, and I don't know why. I can definitely pinpoint what happened exactly that may have triggered it. So 2.5 weeks ago, I finally hit my goal of 132. I think I said that. I think in the previous 2 or 3 episodes, I had said that I finally reached my weight goal and I was super ecstatic. But then, the next 4 or 5 days, I started, and literally it was just a pound or two. I started gaining a little, and obviously, I'm working out, I'm using heavy weights. Of course, my muscles are going to grow, but already in the back of my head, I was kind of discouraged and not feeling motivated. I was really upset because I was like, I'm already following this strict diet. I'm already working out 5 times a week. I'm literally exhausted. I'm doing what I can, and yet I'm still not maintaining my weight goal. And it's really frustrating. So I think that set it off. And you got to kind of sit with yourself too and think about what has happened to kind of trigger this laziness, this motivation loss, and things like that. But for me, it was that, and it was really frustrating. And I honestly started my weeks for the past 2 weeks. Normally, I would go to the gym on Mondays. And that's perfect because, start of the week, you want to start out strong. But the past 2 weeks, I haven't gone and I'm just so tired. I literally will wake up on Monday mornings just feeling so groggy and my eyes are swollen. I've tried drinking tea before. I've tried everything and it's not helping. I've tried even CBD gummies. And I'm going to tell you about that experience in a little bit. But I tried everything and I still don't feel like I'm 100%. And it's so weird. Honestly, I can date it back to when I got my second vaccine. I don't think it at all has a straight effect on it. But yeah, and again, social media, love it. I'm on social media and seeing people work out and I'm just like, oh, why don't I look like that? But literally, I'm not putting the effort to go as much. And oh my God, I'm sure anyone listening who follows my personal accounts and just, I'm sure I've seen progress. I mean, even in the pictures, I see them, but I just don't feel like I've progressed as much as I wanted to. And it's so frustrating, but I'm doing what I can to really fight it. And the first thing that I kind of realized what was happening was just when it was like day 3 of me not working out. And like I said, I work out 5 times a week, but it's to the point where I feel like if I take a 3-day break because I work out 5 times a week, I feel like I'm bloated and I just feel like I've gained so much weight and literally I have not gained a single ounce. So it's just things like that I feel like that's when I realized I was like, damn, I'm getting kind of lazy and I don't know why. And again, even doing chores, even cooking, even just working, I'm not putting 100% into it. And I think a lot of it goes back to my episode when I was talking about, switching up our routines a little bit. And I think it's because I've been stuck in this diet. I think I'm going to partially put the blame on that, but also just my schedule. Working 5 times a week is definitely not ideal for somebody in their 20s. But of course, we're starting this new adult life, trying to make money, trying to pay shit off. So it's going to be that way, and maybe not for most people, but I just sometimes need that little few days off, and sometimes a weekend isn't enough. And for people who are just starting jobs or not there yet, I highly suggest to take advantage of your weekends because in the adult world, when you get a full-time job and just having to dedicate so much time, and I can't even believe before COVID, we used to travel before and after work. That is awful. Just thinking about the fact that one day we'll have to be back to this full-time schedule, literally stresses me out. But it's not to the point that it's causing my anxiety / laziness / unmotivated feelings. But I don't know. It's really hard to talk about. And I think maybe I'm hoping by the end of this episode, I can figure out how to actually get back at it. But sometimes we just live our life and not give our 100%. And it's so weird because, again, you're not going to notice it unless you're actively aware of what you're doing. And like I said, I've been working on kind of doing that more and just being in the moment, versus me thinking about what I have to do after I get the laundry done or the dishes done. So I feel like I'm always thinking about what's next versus what I'm doing right now. And even eating, I'm trying my best to be in the moment, just sit there and really eat, instead of rushing so I can get back to work or rushing so I can start folding or cleaning something. It's just things like that I'm trying my best to do more of. So that's kind of a start, and I think in our 20s, it is important to be lazy. Don't get me wrong. I am totally not saying that every day has to be something full of everything to do. But one lazy day can turn into a week and turn into a month and turn into a whole year. And next thing you know, you're not really accomplishing anything. So it really is about finding that happy middle where you're still taking the time to do absolutely nothing or just be lazy and still accomplishing what you want to accomplish physically, emotionally, mentally, things like that. So it's definitely hard and it'll take a lot of practice, but you kind of have to realize that you've been lazy for too long. And I know that is so weird to think about because when is somebody ever too lazy for too long? But I can definitely tell you that if you feel like you're not being active enough, that's kind of an indicator. And it's also just you feeling lightheaded or your butt hurts from sitting for so long. Even me, for a normal work day, sometimes if I sit for 8 hours straight, my ass hurts, like dead ass, because I've been sitting on it for so long. I'm so uncomfortable. So of course I try my best during my lunch break or just halfway through the day, try to do something like walking around or just getting up to do something. One thing I feel like has definitely affected me in terms of being lazy is just social media in general and turning on my notifications. I know that's weird, but I feel like the more notifications I get on my phone, the more I'm obligated to unlock my phone and look at things. And I definitely have turned off a lot of notifications. I've turned off Facebook because who uses Facebook anymore? Twitter, I've turned off. Except for when specific people message me, I've also turned off Instagram for that same kind of behavior. But I think the most heavily affected app that bothers me is surprisingly my email. And this is because, again, it ties back to me wanting to lose weight and blah, blah, blah. I've been so inclined to look at my email. And again, that causes this whole cycle of me looking at Old Navy or Express or Shein. And I keep pronouncing it wrong. Is it Shein, Sheen, Shine? I don't know, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Clothing stores in general. And the worst one is this Twitter account that I'm following that they constantly send notifications about new sneakers and shit. And I just get so distracted and then I end up buying it. So that's kind of the first thing too that's been affecting me in terms of my laziness. I've just been lazy to even go to the grocery store. I know that's so bad. I even go on Amazon and Whole Foods. Literally, there's a shop right 15 minutes away, but I'm even too lazy to step out of my own apartment, go and get the groceries and come back. And again, I just don't know why. I feel like I've just been constantly just feeling mad lazy and I don't know why. So like I said, I've just been trying to do that. I've been trying to get off of social media. So I found that if you're up late at night on your phone or playing video games or just watching something that's a little too close to your bedtime, I found that I'm more awake. And awake-feeling equals anxious-feeling equals thinking about life after death, thinking about just COVID and thinking about all these random things at literally 11 o'clock at night when I'm supposed to be sleeping. So I try my best to at least minimize the amount of technology or light that you look at. Actually, it's not just your phone. It's not just TV. It's light in general. If you really want to have a good night's sleep and wake up feeling a little bit better, which again, I think ties into the fact that I've been so lazy. It's just my sleep schedule has been so shitty. I cannot sleep anymore. But I found that it helps at least to stop looking at my phone, stop looking at light in general about an hour before bed, or just doing something that doesn't require your mind to wake up again. So that could be anything, even yoga sometimes makes me sleepy, but I try my best to at least be a little more calm towards the end of the night and just kind of unwind, relax, and prepare myself for a bedtime. And actually, showering at night, this is a major topic too. Do you guys shower at night or in the morning? Because I feel like showering at night has been really helpful for me to at least get a good night's sleep. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, that's just a first step in not being lazy and kind of getting out of that lazy mindset is to just time yourself right. If you need more sleep and you're aware of it and you're just too lazy to sleep more or too lazy to move from the couch to your room because you still have one more episode, 30 more minutes, you kind of have to just push yourself. It really is just a lot of pushing yourself to break out of that habit. And it's a lot harder than I'm saying, of course. It's hard to get yourself up. Sometimes you're like, bro, I just physically cannot get up off the couch. I will get up in an hour after this next episode. And next thing you know, it's 2 a.m. and you have to be up at like 8 o'clock. And you were supposed to wake up at 6:30, me, and go to the gym, but you just kept turning off your alarm because you were too lazy to get out of bed. So again, that's just one of many things that I found has helped, but I'm still struggling. Yeah, I just don't know what it is. And I think another thing to kind of get out of that lazy mindset and behavior is to pick up something that you love to do. And I always say this, go to your hobbies no matter what. If you're stressed, if you're happy, if you're anxious, if you're worried, always go back to your hobbies because your hobbies will never fail you. Everything you love in terms of your hobbies, like playing music, sports, they will never fail you in terms of making you happy because that's just something that you genuinely love and know that it won't hurt you. Which, it's so much easier said than done. And like I said, I haven't really played music that much, so I'm going to consider doing that. I just don't feel like I've made enough time to play more, and I don't know if you guys agree or if anyone else agrees, but once you stop, and this happens with music and art, I feel like more than most hobbies, it's hard to get back at it. And also, this applies to the gym. Once you have 1 day off, once you have 2 days off, 3, 4, it gets really hard. The hardest part about going to the gym is actually making a routine scheduled around you going to the gym at whatever time during the day, every week, all year. It gets exhausting, and to have to continuously put the effort to make time for it, sometimes it gets tiring if you really let yourself slip. But you have to kind of just make the effort, be aware that it's happening, and just continue to keep pushing. And something I always say is, especially the gym or something, even if you go to the gym and you don't feel like it and you just walk on the treadmill for 30 minutes, at least you got your ass up and went to the gym. I always look at it like that, And again, that's why I don't feel bad, I mean, I do, of course, but I don't feel as bad, not putting my 100% in everything because at least I'm doing it. At least I'm not sitting and doing absolutely nothing. My brain still is telling me, hey, don't completely sit down forever and just be lazy and not do anything, still get up and do all this stuff. But I just want to be more 100%. I want to be more involved with everything that I'm doing and not just doing it because I'm on autopilot. So yeah, it's a struggle. Random fact, but I was reading an article that the older generations think that we're lazy as fuck. And don't get me wrong, I definitely agree about that in some aspects because honestly, sometimes I'd be looking at things and situations that millennials are in and Gen Zers, and I'm just like, bro. And it's weird because my culture, my father was always joking like, oh, I wish you were a boy because sons help more around the house. And I'm like, dude, I can literally help if you just ask, just because I'm a girl. And this is the expectation of older cultures that, men do most of the work around everywhere and women just take care of everything in the house. But now I feel like women are kind of stepping up. So I kind of disagree with that article. I don't know where they're getting their information from, but at the same time, I get it because we are becoming more technologically dependent, not independent. I totally stuttered there, but technologically dependent. And now we have technology for things to be done for us. There's even robots that will wash your dishes for you. And of course, not everyone's rich like that to be getting stuff like that, but it gets harder for people our age to get up and be active and be more motivated and more passionate about what we do, because there's always something else that can do it for you automatically, or just someone else that can do it for you. So even things like that, I try my best to really try to do things on my own. Even my taxes, I know this is random, but some people like to have it done for them, and sometimes they get screwed over for it because they don't know exactly what their numbers are from, what their money is. They're not aware of their actual numbers of just their income, their house, everything. But me, I just need to know everything, so I kind of do it myself, and I've never had issues with it. And I think that I just would rather be fully aware of my numbers and just everything involved with my taxes and why I'm getting taxed this much for whatever. So I try to take advantage of things I can do myself. And again, we're young, we can move around still. We don't really need to be hiring people or hiring services or just assuming everything is going to be done for us. So that again is kind of the first step, especially in the work environment. We always think that somebody is going to help us with things, but the best employees are the ones that are struggling because they are fighting a learning curve. And after they pass that learning curve, they're amazing. They've learned something new. And my manager was always telling me, and even to this day, I really appreciated it. And it wasn't long ago that he had told me this, but my manager, he was just saying that, there's a lot of people in companies who lose their fire. Don't lose yours. Always be looking for improvement, looking for things that will help your job be easier, and not just stick with the automated routine, the automatic processes, and just doing your normal. What can you do to make it better? Always think outside the box. And I know it's hard to think that way all the time. Don't get me wrong. Not saying you should do that all the time or even force yourself, but if an opportunity opens up, take advantage of it. If there's something that you want to do that's different, if there's something that you have your mindset on, go and do it, because we're in our 20s still, we're young, we're able to get these things done. And a lot of what older people regret statistically is not having enough time to get what they wanted to get done. And yes, our lifespan is short, not to get all sad and gloomy, but we have to take advantage of the time that we have. We allow ourselves to be lazy for a certain amount of time, certain amount of days. And then, the next day you got to get up, get your ass up and do things that you want to do. There's always a long list that people in our 20s always want to do, and somehow we just are never able to do. I definitely want to go to travel to all these places, and I can't just be lazy. I can't just accept my life as it is, accept my work routine as it is. You got to give yourself the opportunity to go and do what you want to do, because it's not always going to be about work this, work that, routine this, routine that. You got to branch out of it sometimes, and this is kind of something to think about if you're feeling a little lazy or unmotivated. And another thing that I've kind of been trying to do in terms of me getting back to being motivated to play music or motivated to do my work again is just to think about how I even started liking this stuff. How did I like starting music? How did I like working again? And you kind of have to go back to your roots. Why do you enjoy your job? Why do you enjoy playing basketball? Why do you enjoy roller skating? Why do you enjoy going on walks? And how come you stopped doing it? You kind of have to ask yourself these questions. So while you're thinking about that, I'm going to play a super quick ad, and Feeling will be right back. Honestly, I'm hungry, you guys. Do you ever just crave authentic Indian food? I know I do, especially being at home so much. If you live in the Plainsboro area in New Jersey, Jai's Kitchen has the hookup. Jaya's Kitchen is completely made from scratch, specializing in Andhra cuisines. Like, no joke, I had the best shrimp masala and coconut rice I've ever had. It's just so delicious, and you can have it for any meal of the day. It's perfect for dinner or even a small family event. So if you want to have any inquiries on any orders, you can hit up Jaya's Kitchen on Instagram at JAYASKITCHN. Again, it's JAYASKITCHN. Go ahead, try it out and enjoy it. It won't disappoint, I promise. Hey guys, and welcome back. Did you guys think about it? Did you guys think about your root of your passion? That is really where you must start. And you know that saying that pictures say 1,000 words, or a song can speak 1,000 words. It can really take you back to a very happy moment in your life. And this is where nostalgia, something that I mentioned in my previous episodes, where it really is important when you're having a hard day, when you're feeling stuck, feeling lazy, feeling unmotivated. You know, what was the reason why you really started doing whatever you're not doing anymore? A good example for me is music. I always think about when I first touched the piano. So backstory, I was taking piano lessons, and it was at this, listen, I'm not going to be super racist here, but it's okay because I'm Asian, but Asians are really strict sometimes, and you literally have to be perfect sometimes. That is the expectation of the Asian culture. But so when I first started playing piano, I was scared as hell of my piano teacher. My piano teacher scared the fuck out of me. And every time I messed up a note, I feel like it was the end of the world and I was never going to be perfect. But that is what made me realize that I'm not perfect. And I used to be such a perfectionist. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still am, but piano really helped me stay grounded in the sense that I don't need to expect so much of myself, of people around me. And I feel like, honestly, now that I'm talking about it, I feel like my perfectionist thinking has kind of come back because I haven't had the chance to really play music like that. And I think that mindset kind of just came back that I have to be perfect. I can't make mistakes. I can't give myself free time to do anything. And I feel like that's kind of coming back, which is why I'm starting to feel overwhelmed. And also, laziness kind of comes from feeling overwhelmed sometimes. When you have a lot to do, you don't want to do anything. I mean, at least for me, I don't know about you guys, but I tend to procrastinate, and procrastinate is very different from laziness. Let me just get that comment out of the way. It's not the same thing. Procrastination can make you lazy, but they're not the same thing. At least psychologically and emotionally, they don't come from the same things. Yeah, back to my piano story. I have discovered my love for music then, and it was basically something to keep me grounded. And that could be very well the same reason why you fell in love with basketball or volleyball or working out at the gym or playing whatever instrument that you play or reading or even just watching shows. If that is what keeps you grounded, you know, you got to remember that on days when you're not motivated or not in the mood to get back in touch with it. And again, it's easier said than done. I definitely am still struggling with it, but I always remind myself that that is what's supposed to keep me sane and grounded and remind me of the not so perfect things in life, but also beautiful. And that's why I love music, because music also kind of portrays that not perfectness. If you guys listen to classical music or even old school music where the chord progressions wouldn't really follow the same 5 freaking chords like every popular song does now. But if you really think about it musically, they really go out of their way to not follow that progression. And it kind of confuses you. There's actually this one song, I forget the name of it, but historically they played it at theaters and people would go crazy listening to it because it's just so whack and not the usual flow of chord progressions. I really need to look it up. I think I'll look it up tonight and get back to you guys next week about what song it was exactly, because you guys should listen to it. It's actually a little bit uncomfortable, but it's only because it's just how the progression is. And there's not even any words associated with the song. It's a classical song, obviously, but you can just feel uncomfortable listening to it because you're expecting the song to go one way progressively because of just how chords are in general. And it doesn't. And it makes you feel weird and kind of uncomfortable, and you almost want to turn it off. I had to find the song. I definitely should figure out the title and let you guys know next week because it's definitely an interesting song. But even just that, and that's what I love about music because there's so much creativity around it. And that's kind of what motivates me to pick up my guitar every now and then or play the piano. And it just helps so much. And, this is just not just applying to your hobbies or just things that you love to do. It's also work. Why do I love analyzing thousands of data? Like deadass, I get thousands and thousands of data to analyze and look through. Why do I love it so much? Because after all the time of looking through the numbers, I can finally see a trend, a pattern, and something worthwhile to the company that helps us kind of move forward and improve it. And that feeling at the end is what's worth it. So I have to kind of connect back to that feeling why I wanted to work with data in the first place, and hopefully it'll help me not be lazy, be more motivated. And you just kind of have to keep thinking about why you started everything in the first place. So that's, again, just how life is. Why did you, I've never doubted getting a dog ever, but another example is if you're frustrated with your dog, why'd you even get your dog in the first place? Because they're so loving, they're unconditional, they will be your best friend and sit with you if you're feeling lazy, sit with you if you're even working out, they'll bother you, but it's so cute and fun. So you have to think about that too. And it's always how you start that helps you keep going. And that just doesn't apply to work, it applies to friendships, relationships. People want to keep their relationships and friendships because of how everything started. And yes, maybe it was rough at first for some friendships. I definitely can vouch for some of my friendships that they have been super rough. But sometimes if you're feeling lazy and not putting in effort in the friendship, it really can negatively affect it. So you just got to think about all the good things and why it started, and it'll really help you push and motivate yourself to get back at it again. Another thing that kind of really helps, especially when I'm feeling lazy or unmotivated, is just to list out what I want to do during the week. I actually have this cute little agenda that I know not many people are into making lists because sometimes they'll be disappointed by things they don't get done, but I definitely recommend it. Put some times where, one, you want to check your email for work. Put days where you want to work out, have leg day on a Monday and glute day on a Wednesday and back day on a Thursday. And it really helps you at least see visually that, oh shit, I have stuff to do. And it might lead you to procrastinate, but it will at least help you see visually that you have stuff that you need to get done and you cannot push aside. So there's even things like emails, for example, for work. You can't just ignore them all day because, of course, there are people waiting for your responses, but that's a little easier. But when it comes to the gym, that's you personally. It's your personal choice to miss out on those days. And how bad are you going to feel not checking that off your list for the day when you don't go? And that's also something I've been kind of neglecting. I haven't touched my agenda at all these past 2 weeks just because I haven't had motivation to even list out what I want to do. I think it just comes down to the stress that I feel right now just from coming up events that require a lot of money. But anyways, that's besides the point. And there's also some other things you can do, like just scheduling time with your friends. Sometimes when you're super lazy, you don't even feel like leaving your apartment, like me, going to Amazon to get Whole Foods. But even that, sometimes you just can enjoy the fresh air. You can go and drive for a little bit, enjoy this weather in the middle of a work day, go get groceries during lunch, or even just make a trip to Starbucks or something. Even though, fun fact, I haven't had Starbucks since I started dieting and really having a better eating lifestyle. I haven't had it since, I want to say last summer, to be honest, but I truly miss my matcha frappuccino and I miss my green tea lattes. I miss my pink drinks and I miss having so much sweets. But anyways, that's besides the point. Another thing that kind of you can do is just not get distracted. So I try my best, and I still fail sometimes, to not look at my phone when I'm about to shower, I'm getting dressed, I'm having breakfast, I'm eating lunch. I try to be in the moment in that sense, because literally, what's the point of being on your phone if you're about to take a shower? No point. You literally don't need to be scrolling through TikToks when you're eating breakfast. You don't need to do answering emails when you're in the middle of lunch. It's just being more connected with what you're currently doing, just being in the moment. That again will help you, because if you again are overwhelming yourself with so many things to do, it'll cause you to be lazy. And Benjamin Franklin, as corny as it is, he always says, don't put off until tomorrow what you can do today. And as sad as it is, I agree with that 100%. It's very much easy to make excuses up for not getting up and doing something and getting it done today. It's so much easier. And I think that's why we get so stuck in the lazy routine and the lazy mentality, because it's so much easier to be lazy. I mean, literally think about it. You have to think to get stuff done. You actually have to use brain power to get something done. And it's so much work sometimes. And even I don't want to do it sometimes. I don't even want to get up in the morning just to go to the couch and work. Sometimes I just prefer to be in bed, but you got to allow yourself to feel lazy, but then get up and get ready to live today by the fullest. You know what I mean? If you want to lose weight, you're not going to do it by sitting down all day. You got to do the work. And again, that's what ties into being lazy, because it actually requires effort, work to get up and go and lose weight. You want to meal prep. It's not going to prep for you. That shit's not going to walk its own to the stovetop and cook for you. You got to make the work for it. You want to eat better. You want to drink more water. Again, it's not going to automatically cook you a nice, healthy meal. And like I said, it's so much easier to go to a fast food place for dinner and eat, but it's worth the extra effort to go and cook something and make something healthier just for the sake of your physical well-being. It's just better. And I think that's what a lot of my struggle was back in the day when I was in college, because I was just too lazy. I was too lazy to cook something. I lived at an apartment senior year at Rutgers that had a whole ass stovetop and a microwave, and I still chose to go out to eat most of the time. My friends can vouch for that. They know how much I have spent on going out, on eating, and that is why I gained weight. And here I am kind of having to clean up that mess. And it sucks because, you gain that weight and you don't realize how long it's going to take to lose it. It's so easy to be lazy. That's always what you got to think. It's so easy, but you kind of have to get out of it sometimes and just continue to work on yourself. And you always have to think about the end process. Like I said, with data analysis, like, why do I find it so fun to look at thousands and thousands of data? Because once I'm done analyzing it and going through each and every line, something beautiful comes out of it, some trend, something new that the company never seen before. It's great, all that hard work, and you get this super great result. And that's honestly what a lot of everything in our 20s relates to, saving up and finally having enough money to buy a house, saving up and having enough money to get married or to buy a car, or finally being able to go on that vacation that you've wanted to go on for years. It's just so much stuff and so much effort put into it. But if you keep thinking about either why you started or what end goal you're trying to reach to, it honestly will continue to motivate you and help you get out of being lazy about it. So I'm going to try that, because I've also been feeling just super lazy, but sometimes you need it. Like I said, you got to allow yourself to be lazy, but be strong enough mentally, physically, emotionally to continue to keep going. And again, that comes a lot with mental strength. You just got to push yourself and know that you can accomplish these things. You are definitely a lot stronger than you think. I try to tell myself this all the time, that I don't necessarily have to be putting myself down all the time. Like, okay, I gained 2 pounds in 2 days and whatever. It's honestly either water weight or muscle weight. And I try to tell myself, like, I'm not slacking off. I'm not it's not a bad thing. I just have to keep going. And that's kind of what you have to keep thinking too. So hopefully it'll help you get out of that lazy mindset. And again, I really encourage you to sit down and really assess how you're feeling, because a lot of laziness and unmotivated feelings really come from something rooted deeper, whether it's depression or stress, anxiety, some issues you're having with somebody, or somebody who's honestly just bothering your vibe. You really got to understand and connect with yourself and really understand what's bothering you for reals, because if you don't know what the problem is, you can't nip it in the bud, right? You can't fight the laziness if you don't even know where to start or why it's happening. So definitely encourage you guys to at least talk to yourself about that. Ask yourself questions. Why am I feeling this way? And also that kind of applies to like your friends too, because if you guys see somebody who's maybe feeling a little bit too lazy, again, there's something that might be rooted there, because laziness and unmotivated feelings also comes from somebody who is not just depressed, but also just struggling with something inside. They might be afraid of something. They might be afraid that they're not able to reach their goals. It's a lot of stuff. So, you can be aware about your own feelings about being lazy, but also you can kind of see it in other people as well. And it'll be a good moment for you to reach out and maybe spend some time together. And maybe both of you can get out of that lazy and unmotivated mindset and start something new, or start being active and being in touch with everything that has made you 100% passionate, 100% happy, and things like that. So again, just always go back to why you started things. If you don't have goals, or if you don't have reasons behind things, honestly, that's where a lot of it comes from. That's where a lot of being automatic comes from, and living each day like it's just another day, get another one off your shoulders. It gets tiring, and it doesn't make you feel productive, and it doesn't make you feel like you're getting any closer to your goals. So in our 20s, again, that's super important. We can't be lazy all the time, because again, it's very easy to be lazy. It's very easy to just sit there, do nothing. It's safe, it's quiet, it's peaceful, but you gotta give yourself that time to find your purpose and really find out what do you want to accomplish in life. And again, I think that'll really push everybody to get out of their laziness and get out of their unmotivated feelings and just start living life better and just being a better person every day and just doing everything that we love to do. And once you're aware that you're feeling lazy, it's good to just confront it, because the longer you become lazy, the harder it is to get out of it. It's not just applicable to the gym. It's applicable to everything. And people around you honestly will start noticing. And you even notice around you when people are not giving their 100%. So can't even imagine how they would see you too. You know what I mean? They'll start to notice, and it'll really start rubbing off on people around you. So it's good to just accept that you're feeling lazy, which is totally normal, like I said. But it's mostly the fact that you have to be aware of it. You have to embrace it and just focus on what you can do to be better. So if these past 40 minutes haven't been enough for you to not be lazy and kind of push yourself to do something different and get a little closer to your goals, maybe next week's episode will help you. I don't know, but hopefully it'll help me, because I've been struggling with that for the past 2 weeks for sure. But yeah, that's it for now, you guys. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that this episode has encouraged you to get up and not be lazy and do a little bit better at just getting closer to your goals and giving all of your heart into everything that you do, work included. And I hope it just motivates you in general, just to get back at reasons why you started doing everything that you're doing now, and just to appreciate every little thing. And if you have any questions, concerns, DMs, or topics you'd like to talk about, feel free to reach out to me. My Instagram and TikTok are at Feelin' Feline Podcast, and my Twitter is at Feelin' Feline. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for listening. This is your message now to fight that laziness and keep going, and you're stronger than you think. All right, till next time. Bye.